Hello and welcome to today's NinjaTrader Ecosystem webinar with Will of Valhalla Futures. My name is Tiffany and I am a platform representative at NinjaTraders. I'd like to mention that it is important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity future contracts and forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you. It will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond these amounts. Also, please remember that these training webinars are not a solicitation nor recommendation, but simply educational in nature. This webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is a technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to the NinjaTrader brokerage. With new tools added nearly every day, NinjaTrader ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find the tools or services you're looking for with a simple keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars and an on-demand video archive to view event recordings. For up-to-date information, be sure to like and follow NinjaTrader ecosystem on all social media platforms. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. And if you're just getting started with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. We are very excited for this unique event in which Will demonstrate how the new CLICKCHARTDOM fulfills your needs. Thanks again for your attendance today, and without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader webinar room, Will. Please take it away, Will.
Okay, so you'll be able to ask questions. I'm going to try to, it's difficult for me to know how many of you are experienced enough to have actually traded on a DOM before, or actually traded futures before. I'm going to give you an overview of a product that's designed to make trading much easier, much faster, and more accommodating of the current market environment. If you really haven't stepped up to futures trading in the last few weeks, I guess I should say the last few months or even the last couple of years, you have no idea how volatile it is right now. It's amazing. Now that works both for you and against you. But we'll try to get into that a little bit. I want to tell you a little bit about who I am, but first of all, I want to make sure that you understand that the risks of trading are real. The CFTC would like you to be reminded of that. And you should act accordingly. I suggest to everyone they should begin, if you are a beginner, on a simulator. And once you feel that you are profitable consistently on a simulator, and that caveat means that if you are not, don't get off it. I can't tell you how many people ignore that advice. But even when you get off it, no matter how big your account is, you should start off with one contract. Maybe even a micro contract. Why, you think? Well, there's a psychology, unfortunately, that says people with large accounts think they're more immune to losses because they can handle them. And they're just going to lose more. So I repeat that. Start off with a method. Write the method down. Look for exactly that methodology to appear at the right edge of your video screen and practice that methodology on a simulator. NinjaTrader is not affiliated with Valhalla Futures. They don't necessarily endorse anything that I'm going to tell you today. Keep that in mind. And you can always read the CFTC's exact risk disclosures on Valhalla Futures website or NinjaTrader's website. All right, who are you speaking to today? I have no idea who you guys are. Some of you might have seen some of my webinars. I've got 4 or 5 videos on screen, in which case you kind of know who I am. If not, then I'll give you a very quick overview. I'm an old man. I've been around a long time. I actually trained on the floor of the S&P pit, and that's going back to the early 80s. I started before that. I'm an author of several books. About a third of the stuff I use every day to make decisions on can be found in a book. Pivots, Patterns, and Intraday Swing Trades. You can get it online at Amazon.com. I'm actually an author of another book on trade psychology. It's called True Self. We used to be able to give it away, but the publisher wants to collect a few bucks for it. It's also online. I'll, at the end, show you my website in case you want a book on trading psychology from somebody who's been through it all. I'm also the author of a number of original trade concepts. I've studied everything, Elliott wave and Fibonacci and market profile, and I could not make it work at the right edge of my video screen. So naturally I had to come up with my own. Some of those are brand named and copyrighted. And I use that and teach it in a course. And that course is rather expensive, but it includes the software of an algorithm called serial sequence method software. My course is about $3,000. It takes 10 weeks to take, but my book is only 35. So do the math, huh? I have a real-time Zoom room. I only trade in the morning sessions, and that's about as much as you could probably stand to hear about me. Our latest venture is a piece of software that solved for me the problems of trying to get in orders the way I want to trade. I used to have a piece of software that I didn't need to have our own, and that was one called Button Trader. If some of you are familiar with trading back in the old days of interactive brokers, it no longer exists, at least that particular software. So some of the features were incorporated into this one to make it work on NinjaTrader, which is the best charting software out there, and I have used them all. I was a user of TradeStation for so many years, but this is so much better. So take that to heart. If you're brand new, download NinjaTrader's charting. They'll let you use it for free, and it's the best thing going. Trade entry issues. What are they, and what was I trying to solve by helping to author this particular software? I'm not the code writer, by the way. I had a brilliant code writer, but a lot of the features I helped write and incorporate. The trade issues had to be decision to entry immediacy. You got to get the order in as soon as the technical thing appears at the right edge of your video screen. And I found that too many platforms are too clunky. I got to remember right click, left click, control click. I don't have time. I just want to get the order in. And I want it to associate with my decision stuff. So it's got to be immediate. It means it's got to be very simple. I want it associated with my charts. I trade off charts. The charts are telling me what to do, nothing else. And maybe I'm watching what the news is, but I'm not trading off the news. I'm trading off the charts. So I want my orders to click right from the charts. I want it to be really simple. Left click. I don't want to remember when I'm supposed to go to the right click or whether or not I'm supposed to go to control click for a different type of order. I want everything to be a left click of my mouse. I want management flexibility once I'm in positions. That is, I can control which contract I'm going to get out of first. No LIFO or FIFO issues. If you get into software, you're going to find out that that's a unique issue, and you're building a position around a corner. Sometimes you want to get out of your worst positions first. I always do. If I'm in more than one contract and I got one at a crummy fill, I want to get out of that one, not the ones that are winners. And I want to see everything graphically. I don't want to look at numbers, my P&L. I want to see everything graphically. I'll show you how you can do that graphically. The less focus I need for an application is the more focus I can put on the actual trade. That's the bottom line. Those are the things I want out of a trade. Okay, so let's see if I can get a demo started here, and need some live data. I thought I was going to do it in two different contracts, but I think I can just get it off on one. And we'll go to a screen, and I need to verify that the screen has followed Zoom. You got a screen now? Somebody give me a yes for sure. So that, yes, good. Okay. I'm going to show you what this DOM looks like, and the immediate thing that ought to grab you. I get to see all my data, but the DOM is still there no matter what I do with the data. What does that tell you? The DOM, this is the DOM, is in my charts. It's not over here in right field. I don't have to keep adjusting it. I don't have to worry about the scaling. I don't have to worry about the price going off screen. Wherever my data is, my DOM is. And that's the first and most important thing. It's fully embedded. That means I have this control over here that gives me complete control of the scaling both my charts and the DOM at the same time. So I can just flip that around. Most people are used to looking at the DOM up close. Why? So they can see all these numbers. The numbers appear when you're this close. But if you've been trading in the recent markets, you know that if you got this kind of examination going on your DOM, and that's what most DOMs look like, you can add a few numbers on either end, but for the most part, this is what they look like. A single bar in the NQ can be 20 points. And so, of course, that pushes you in the M2K. It has pushed me into the M2K. But it's still, I want to be able to see more than this. I need to know where the rest of the chart is. So with a flip, I can still see the whole DOM, and I can also see my charts. I'll keep it that simple for the moment. I want to make sure now we understand some of the DOM. There's a lot of features in this. I'm only given about a half an hour. It's already 15 minutes gone. I've got a lot of stuff to show you. So I've got a website full of videos. Our website has full of videos on it. You can always ask questions and see it there. Let's do an overview of what this DOM is. Most of the time you're used to looking at a DOM associated with a panel. Well, we have a panel. It looks a lot like the NinjaTrader panel, and it allows you to change the strategy, the quantity, what account you're using, and a number of other things that are important to know. But you don't really need the DOM. You don't need it to enter orders or to exit orders or to sell or to close or to anything. Keep that in mind. This is all you need to trade from. All right, let's examine the DOM a little bit so we get a real simple overview. Everything happens on this DOM. If I want to market order, so these are all the numbers in the middle, right? Well, if I want to buy, it's always on the left side, regardless of what kind of order I'm going into. Buy is bidding. If I want to sell, it's always on the right side, regardless of what kind of order I'm using. Same as any other DOM. You see here the level 2 data. Let me see if I can turn it on just for a second and turn it back off. Oh, they just moved me. Where did they go? Let's see what happened. Uh-oh. Now they're not giving me the playback data. This happened before. I hope it's not happened now. And I might have to go to again to get it to go. Let's see what happens. I might have started the whole thing over again. Yeah, I'm going to have to go to again. Sorry. This is what happens. Okay, I've got to stop this and go to, I've got a playback data, and I can change it to the time I want it to appear. Let's hope they cooperate. Yeah, it's thinking about it. You see a lot of movement on the screen. They're going to have to, if you don't familiar with how playback data works on the NinjaTrader, you can pick a day and play back and then tell it where you want it to start on the charts, and that's what I've done. And it's going to have to take a second to fill out the day's data because I wanted it to appear roughly about 3 o'clock because I'm trying to mimic a trade I actually took. And in the process, something happened when I tried to start it, and it didn't start. So this is going to bring me back to where I was. but I don't really want it to start yet. I'm going to show you all the features first and where all the orders are. The lines you see on the screen are from the pivot exhaustion grid. I don't use Fibonacci. I get numbers a different way, and it's all discussed in a book. It's not what this class is about, so we're not going to go into it. Okay, let's go back up to the DOM and make sure we understand where the orders are. A market order is everything one click. Remember that. If I want to put an order in, all I need to do is hit the market order, and I've got an order, and it places my stop automatically, and it places my target automatically. I just bought that. So it's real simple. So anything on the left side places some kind of order. I used a market order and accepted that. I'm going to click out of this. If I want to put a limit order in, it's also on the left side, but I have two ways to put limit orders in, and I don't have to adjust anything to get them. If I choose this column, that's market if touched. So the market just has to come down and touch that price, and it triggers it as a market order. If I think I want to buy on a limit instead, I put this next column out. So limit and MIT are immediate. Well, maybe I want to buy a breakout. Well, that's above the market, but it's still buy, all right? I'm buying on a stop above. So you can see up here, this is still a buy column, but everything above this price is going to come in as a stop order or a stop limit order. On our DOM, you don't have to stop and go to a menu and tell them what slippage you're going to allow on a stop limit. If you're not familiar with the difference between stop limits and stop markets, I don't want to get into them here, but I can choose which one I want and simply click in the order. And that means if I break up price to here, it's going to fill the order and it's going to apply the strategy that I've chosen, pre-selected on my DOM. I have NQ, whatever, I got 7-point stop on this particular strategy, and it's a one lot. I can change the quantity. I actually trade in micros, and I'm trading like 3 micros a piece, and that's how I've been trading right there. The strategy says for NQ, but I use the same strategy when I'm trading MNQ, which is the micro. All right. So everything on this side is a buy. Everything on this side is a sell. Maybe I don't want to buy on breakout. I just want to sell when it gets up there. I can sell on a limit, or I can sell on an MIT, right? Everything on this right side is sell, and everything on the left side is a buy. This is the DOM. But you notice whenever I place an order, I get another lane. Let's see if I can get some data. Make sure I cover anything else before I get into lanes. I don't have a lot of time here. Each order gets a management lane. Yeah. All right. So if I have a separate lane for every order, let's just go a bunch of market orders here. Let's see if I can get a little data going. You notice I can click out of orders just with a little X, and I did them individually. I didn't have to go to my panel and hit a close button because I might not want to close everything out. If you hit that close button, you're going to close everything out. So we have individual contract management. Now I'm going to try the data again and see if I can go give it to me. Is that going to go? Oh, I think I see some clicks. There we go. All right, so there's a little data going on. So I can buy on a limit here. If it pulls back down, that's an MIT. I can buy at the market. Now I have 2 different orders. Oops, I bought clear down there. Let's do that. Let's cancel out of the one. So I'll just focus on that. And I'll buy on, I'm going to change the stop to down here. And I'm going to buy another one on a limit if it gets to here. And that creates another lane. And you notice graphically, as soon as it goes against me, it's showing a profit and loss thermometer. So if it goes against me, it's in red. And if it goes for me, it's in green. So graphically, I can see where I'm going all the time. The market level 2 data is the red and the green on either side of the prices. And some people like to know whether or not there's any concentrated orders on any particular price. Well, ours shows that. You can see it occasionally flashing bright green or bright red. And that indicates twice the normal volume that's currently in the bid and asked. On an average, this position continues to go against me while it approaches a position I'm going to get filled here if it gets down that far. And by doing so, I get into a second lane. That's what I want to occur here. I can make this go a little faster, hopefully, without it choking. Because my memory serves me that this went down first before it went up. Now let's move that a little closer because I want to get filled for demonstration purposes. Notice how easy it is to move. One click. I got filled. And I'm going to move my stop. One click. I can move my stops. Stops are placed automatically. My targets are up here on a default. If I want to move my stops, I move my targets. One click, one click, one click. Immediately. I'm in two different lanes here. Each contract or set of contracts, and I just set this for one each. I've been trading 3 micros per lane. But each one gets its own lane, which means I can manage out of it. And that's very important to know. Now, let's see. I want to accumulate a position. How much time do I have? Not a lot. I'm going to accumulate a position because on this particular day, although I'm making profit on this, I was actually trying to sell the spike up because I had a momentum indicator that told me sell the next chip up. And I'm going to halt this a second and just trade out of all these. I don't have to do that. I can be long and short at the same time. That might be interesting. That might be confusing for you. Normally, you can't do that on a DOM. On our DOM, we can. So I could ride a long position up and sell it when it gets to this resistance, thinking that I don't know which one it is, and I could go short and long at the same time. I don't want to get this too confusing. I just want to show you that that feature is available. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm hoping that the data will stir. I want to show you just the thinking that I had, so it makes sense to you why it mimic what I'm about to do. I was working on a momentum indicator that had already attempted to reach to a climax area. This is a climax area on a momentum indicator. It's a proprietary indicator. And it did so on both these, but it failed to climax on both those. I'm looking for it to climax. The market was very bearish. This was last Monday. It was straight down, if you remember it. And so this is a recovery rally that I was trying to short. And I have a couple different resistances, and they're in a zone up here, but I don't know exactly what price it's going to stop at. You never know, especially in this kind of volatility. So I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to leg into a position with micros. And instead of using sets of 3, I use sets of 1. It takes 10 micros to even equal 1 mini contract. So I can afford being slightly wrong about my entry. And you will face this in your trading these days because of the extreme volatility. If you're already a trader, you've probably already had to increase your stops because your positions aren't surviving. So in a zone, I'm going to try to accumulate a position. And I can do that by putting sell orders, either limit, remember, selling is on this side. It's always on this side. Or I can also trail a sell stop below the market. For instance, that puts a sell stop in if the market were to come back down and fill me. But I'm not going to put that in until it starts to spike up. And then I'm going to lay several of them in and try to accumulate a position. On this particular day, I accumulated 6, which is like 2 sets of 3, which is, I'm doing it normally in sets of 3s these days. But this one, I had a big position. I had a big zone. So I dropped it to 1 with the intention of trying to get 6. I don't know if I can pull this off because I don't remember exactly where my fills were. Let's go with the data. Okay, is this not? It's already started to do it. Started to break out. And I put one in right immediately because I thought I was pretty smart and the data hadn't gone very far. I'm going to move my stop, however, because the zone is pretty big on this, and I can afford a much bigger stop on a micros. As you can see, it's already working against me. I'm going to slow this down to about real speed because it happened pretty fast. So I'm going to play another trap for it in case this is the top. I've got a big zone. I'm trying to find where the short is. I'd like to try to get off 6. I've already got 1 down here. It's not doing too good. And there's a second. I'm in 2 lanes. I'm going to keep my stops. Notice how quickly I can move the stop. And let's move a little farther. Moves a little farther. I'm going to try to get another one. Notice how quick and easy it is to scale. All right, now it's moving a little bit farther. I want to try to get in. Here we go. And now, whoa, look at this thing go. Didn't even get a chance to move my stop. This is how fast it is. My stop was 7 points. I've stopped in another one. I've forgotten to move my stop. I didn't have a default stop set at 20 points. I had it set at 7. So as I enter orders, you can see what I'm doing. I've got another one, and now I've got 4, and still probably not where I want to be. I'm going to try to get 2 more in, and I'm going to see if it pikes up one more time and keep my stops on them. You see how easy I can move my stops. My targets are default all down here. I'm not worried about managing the default target until the spike is done. So I'm still trying to position in this spike, and it looks like it's still going up. My memory serves it went over a 90, and I'm going to try to lay up it because I eventually got one about 91. But you can see I had a couple of them that I didn't like. I want to be able to manage them accordingly. Is that as much as it's gone? I'm going to chase this with a limit and try to get one up here because I can't remember if I actually got to 94. There's another one. I'm in 5 now, and let's go one more. If it goes a little higher, is it already hits 90? It hasn't hit 90 yet. Pretty sure it went through 90 because I got a fill up there. So let's see if it'll pike one more time. You can see how big the spikes, the volatility spikes get big. All I had was a zone to work with. I can check this against my data, see how easy I can move the screen around. I'm trading against the charts. I'm already in an exhaustion mode with that momentum indicator. So someplace up here in this zone, this spike is likely to end. At least that was my calculation. So I'm averaging in, and now I'm going to have to work my way out. And I'm probably going to want to get out of the worst positions first. And that's about where I got in, I think, my last one. Got up to 94. All right, now I'm in 6. As a matter of fact, as my strategy happened, I'll show you how I accommodated this as a zone I'd be willing to re-enter in if I get stopped out on pullbacks. But in the meantime, you can see I don't like this fill. I don't particularly like this one. I'm not sure I like that one. So what I'm probably going to do is try to end up with 3. And I'm going to like to get out of this one at break even or net break even. So I might just get out of both these here. Notice I'm moving my targets. I'm running out of time here, so I'm hoping this will come down fast. I'm going to increase the speed of this and see what happens. And I'm going to take some of this coming down to my price, and I'm going to move one of these. My other worst fill was here. I'm going to try to get it at this one as it comes down to that high. And maybe this one, I'm going to settle for this much. And now I got some support down here. So I'm going to, if I can get the profit, because I'm now down to 3 contracts, I've basically gone net break even on those first 3. And now I'm going to make a decision about my stops. I don't want to lose on this set. So I'm moving all my stops to here. And if this thing stops me out again, I'll take my stop out and I'll get back in up here on a limit order against this better resistance. As it turned out, I got out of the third one finally, and I simply canceled out these. I think my net was only about 40 points. The last one was about a 40-point profit. I made 20 and about 12 on the other 2, and about net break even or a few points on those first 3 that were poorly filled because I didn't know how big this spike was going to be. That's the lesson, the importance I was trying to make it. Now, that's selling with a stop in a rising market. But how about breakouts? Well, this thing eventually came to a point. Here I am. This is where I got out. Support where it was here before. But that support is also a potential breaking point. Let's slow this down just a bit, because if this is also a support point, then it's a potential breakout point. You see these 2 MAs, moving averages, as they combine here, they come together in what we call the pinch. And when the market breaks through a pinch, it tends to accelerate. So you saw me placing stops against this in a rising market to fade an extreme, but I can put sell stops below this to catch a falling market on a breakout. This would be a breakout or a breakdown. And I'll just set 3, but I think I'll put one as a stop limit just to make that a little different. Stops and stop limits are slightly different. I don't have ours. You can choose from immediately on the fly. You don't have to stop and get down into a menu and tell them how much slippage you're going to allow on your stop limit, because it's preset on ours and it remembers where you want it for this particular contract. And I can enter as many sell orders here as I want. You're a big player. You're going to go with 10 contracts. I got a couple of them. I'm going to see it. I'm going to just, this thing slams down here. I want to be short of a mess of them. I'm going to be short 10 contracts. I'll be able to manage all of them just the way I want. And bam, suddenly I'm short a bunch. And I'm going to move at stop because these stops are pretty close. I don't want to get stopped out, hoping that that breaks support is now resistance coming back, old school stuff. So I have different prices. You can see some I have a loss on as it bounces against me. Some I have a profit on. And since these were my better fills, I might want to hold on to those and dump some of these. I'm going to move my targets up on some of these. Just get out a bunch of them. Everything's graphic. I don't have to worry about numbers. Everything is graphic. Here's the rest of my limits down here. Maybe I want to swing one of these. I want to swing one of these till next week. I want to swing one of these till last month's lows. I mean, I'm going to go down to the data like a long way down here, like way down here, and click once and put my limit way down there and click my stop on that one way up here above last month's highs, because I'm going to swing this all night, all week, maybe all month. And I don't have to worry about where it is in order to get it. I'm going to get out the rest of these and just leave that one. I don't have to, if I want to change this target, remember that target is now way off the board. Unlike NinjaTrader's chart trader, I'd have to go down and find it and then drag it back. I don't need to do that with here. One click changes my target. Change it to right there. Now I may trail my stops because I don't want to lose on these. And I'll go to break even on that last one, whatever your thinking is. But whatever your thinking is in a fast market like this, you want to be able to do it quickly. All right, I've shown you an example. I'm running out of time. I don't want to keep you any longer. I'll click out of that and I'll go back to my screen and make sure I covered a few things. Fast response to technical signals. It is immediate. I see it, I do it. Therefore, you should have more focus on your trading and less on working the DOM. The chart and the DOM are one. They're in the same place. Independent contract management. I decide which are my best positions. I mean, I can do it graphically, and then I'm going to get out of my worst positions. I don't have to worry about that. The reason why I keep bringing this up is because on all other DOMs, you're forced to take out on a FIFO basis the contract you may least want to get out of first. Everything here has graphical readouts. The stops, the P&L is graphical, you notice. Everything is graphics. Okay, what does all this cost? Well, you have a subscription to this for current pricing, $20 a month. I'm coughing as if that were a lot. It's pretty inexpensive. You can try it for a month at $20. You can buy it for a year at $250. But NinjaTrader, they love promotions, and they asked us to do a promotion for the webinar. So here's how we're going to do it for the promotion. You can use, we'll let you use 1ClickChartDOM for free if you also join the trading room. The trading room, which is normally $200, a month is $135. So it's a way to get 1ClickChartDOM for free and get in the trading room. And you get to see this on the screen. You can see my orders. You can see where my orders are and what my DOM is doing and so forth. Not that you, if you're really trading, you probably want to be looking at your own, but that comes with it. And the one-time purchase, 175 versus 250, it's like $75. And there's a coupon code in case you're interested in this, and it says 75 off. If you have any questions, you can come to valhallafutures.com or Will It Valhalla Futures. I might have my website up someplace here. I've forgotten if I've done that. If I did, I can't find it now, but I'll bring it up because it's easy to do. And in case my website is not familiar to you, it looks like this. And I see some questions maybe. How do we access the place to purchase? You go to Valhalla Futures. You can go to Real-Time Trading Room. You can go directly to Tick Tech, who is a master coder, a genius, and he coded this whole thing. And you can read all about his other products and all about the OneClickChartDOM, and there's lots of videos there. Or you can go to Complete Trade Room Details. I'll click on that real quickly. And this tells you about the trade room. Its current discounted price is $1.35. You can read the details. You can watch videos, how the trade room works. We also supply another piece of software, so all those lines you saw on my screen, you can have them on your screen, the pivot exhaustion grid, and you can read about that with a book, Pivots, Patterns, and Intraday Swing Trades. So it's Tick Tech, or start off with valhallafutures.com. If you're interested in the book, there's books and software here, and those have links to the books. Will this one-click indicator work on the free version of Ninja? The answer is yes. Very important question. Does this work on Renko bars? The answer is yes. It doesn't matter what kind of bars you have on it. It's independent of bars, and it's independent of time. I didn't change the time on this, but you can change the bars midstream. Here, this thing is clicking on 1 minute bars, and maybe I want to see data while I'm thinking and trading, how about 15-minute bar or something. Change that to 15 minutes and then scroll. And so I can see a lot of history here. I like to trade off charts. I may, if I'm really trading swings, I may put my target up here or my trigger there, or I may put limits if it comes back to there based on some other time frame besides 1 minute. My trading DOM is still in front of me all the time. but I trade off 1 and 3 minute bars most of the time, but I get information off 60-minute bars, and I transfer that to my 1 minute charts. You can read about that in Pivots, Patterns, and Intraday Swing Trades. Other questions. Notice that you use pivot points. Do they work with your DOM? Well, the pivot points, these are various points, and they're not all pivot points, but there are floor traders pivots, S2. I don't know if you mean, do they work with my DOM? I can place an order against them. I could place a sell order right there at my, if it comes back to S2, if that's what you mean. So all this stuff is in my DOM because my DOM is in the charts, if that's what you mean. And all lines and indicators that you would have of your own indicators would sit on the screen. And you might want to trade off yours. This is a way I get numbers to trade off of. I use a lot of other things. I use momentum and a fractal algorithm. I don't just grab things because they make a new high or new low. But the answer to your question is any indicator works with the DOM. It doesn't matter how many you put on there until you crash your system and resources. I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope it did. There's no restrictions. That is fantastic, kind of you to say. Sound, are you underestimating? Your audience? Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to underestimate my audience. I don't know. If you're an absolute beginner, maybe I talked too slow. And you've traded on DOMs before. If so, then you'll understand the difference between being able to scale easily. You see how quickly I can scale. Being able to see the level 2 and get color-coded level 2, telling you where the hot numbers are all the time. You know that when you're trading off, let's say the NinjaTrader DOM, you've got to know your right clicks from your left clicks from your control clicks if you're going to be managing trades. I'm stupid. I can't remember that. In the heat of the moment, I make mistakes. I just want my left click. I just want to buy. I just want to sell. I just want to take one click to manage the trade. I want to move my stop. I want to move my target. I only want the left mouse. See, I don't have to think about anything else. Everything gets a lane. I can do whichever lane I want first because I'm a simple guy. Let's see, any other questions? Let's wrap it up in about 8 minutes. Oh, I can do better than that. I can wrap it up right now. I've taken the whole hour, taken 45 minutes or 55 minutes of it. So let's wrap it up. Unless you have other questions, you can. This thing has a lot of other features. There's too much to learn in a simple, presentation. I don't want it to be anything more than how simple it really is to use immediately without a lot of other features. I mean, you put it in, start clicking your orders in. That's how quickly it is to learn. As long as you know that buy is on the left side and sell is red on the right side, you don't really need to know much else. Because you're going to, you want to learn how to put an ATM strategy. Look, if you're brand new to this, never place an order that doesn't automatically place a stop for you. How do you do that? You build ATM strategies. How do you do that? Right in here. Edit an ATM strategy. This is an ATM strategy. I have a fixed stop loss and a fixed profit. The profit is way off screen and the stop is comfortable, so I can change it one click. I don't really care about what it is. But I can get more complicated. I can do 3 contracts. I can use staggered targets. I've got one of those in here. Let's click out of this one. Notice I can click out individually. I don't have to click close. How about I choose 3 lots, 3 targets. So I've got 3 lots, 3 targets, and I'll do a buy. And now, within the same lane, I've got 3 lots and 3 targets. But I got to remember now to use my left and right mouse because I'm just like NinjaTrader is. They've got everything in one target. So if I'm going to move my stops, I've got to use right mouse to use that one, and I've got to use left mouse to use this one. And I don't really like to remember that. So how do I do this to get them 3 orders? I just go click, click, click. I just use a simple one like that one. And if I want 3 orders, I'll just go, I get 3 different lanes. I like everything in a lane. So I just got 3 orders. But now I can really massage my targets and my things the way I want. I don't have to I don't have to pre-select them. That could be your own trading style. You do it the way you want. I like to have separate lanes for everything. Otherwise, if I put 3 contracts in the single lane, then I have to remember that I'm just got one lane to work with, and I have to do what NinjaTrader does. I have to switch mice. Left click adjusts the closest one, right click adjusts the next one, control right click controls the furthest one, right? I don't want to remember all that. I'm a simple guy. Questions. I joined late. Is this recorded? The answer is yes. And it will be on YouTube, or I'll have a link from my website. NinjaTrader will have a link there. But late, does this MIT for your DOM? Yes, I can choose MITs. Here's an MIT to sell, or if it gets that, touches that, I don't have to right click and find MIT. I have a lane for MITs. It's the nearest to the center because MIT is market if touch, and these are all market orders. I can have a limit, plain limit, to sell. Now I've sold. Now I'm long and short at the same time. Can your DOM do that? Mine can. Because now I'm pretty sure this is just going to go down, but it won't go that low. So I'm take a profit if this goes down. I don't know what it's going to do. I'm just making this up. I'll get a profit on these 2. I'm counter trending my own strategy. If this goes down and fills me there, I'll have a profit. If not, and it keeps going higher, I'm going to get stopped out of the shorts I just took because I figured wrong, but I will continue making money on my longs. So I'm fading myself, so to speak. And I can use MIT orders. I can use stop orders. I can use stop limit orders without having to right click and go down into a menu because I have a stop and a stop limit lane. Then I preset that. Everyone in attendance here today will receive an on-demand recording of today's event. All right, how about that? I didn't type that in. Any other questions? They're trying to kick us out, but I'll take more questions. Joined late. Is this recorded? Yes. The license for only 1 or 2 computers. The license for ownership can be 2 computers, and you get a 30% discount from the original price for the second computer. But for monthly rental, it's only $20. So the answer to that is no if you're just renting it month by month. And yes, if you want to have a second computer, you can get a license, a 30% discount for the second computer. Is everyone in attendance? Blah, blah, blah. Any other questions? Late. Did I miss any other questions? Where do you put the promo code in the ClickTrader? Oh, when you go to sign up, it's what did I say? It was 75 off. I don't know. Go to go to TickTech where you go to sign up. Let me get that back up, and they'll tell you if you're going to buy it, going to subscribe, and it will have a place to put that in. I don't have it in front of me. Just trust me. Start off with ValhallaFutures.com and right click on the trade room, and that'll take you to the links. New message. I got a new message. I barely know how to use this thing. Sorry. Everyone in attendance here today, it works. Oh, you already tried it and it worked? Okay, good. So you're not going to get 75%, but you're going to get $75 off a $20 fee, obviously. That's for the monthly, try it once for a month. It's not your cup of tea. What have you lost? You don't have to buy a lifetime license. Just like NinjaTrader, they'll let you use your charting for free. Let's see, is there a license for one? I joined late, subscribe, blah, blah, it works, okay. Any other questions? Any answers? Any knives? Any forks? Any spoons? Okay, guys, It's been a pleasure. I can sign off. So
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I would like to give a special thank you to Will of Valhalla Futures for a great presentation. NinjaTrader Ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients. So if you find value in these events, we hope you will attend them on a regular basis. We would like to remind you the information provided in this was of Valhalla Futures and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we appreciate the time you spent with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us at NinjaTrader Ecosystem, and thank you so much again, Will.
you bet. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.